Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tales of Three, your favorite queer D&D-based podcast. I'm Dusty. My pronouns are they, she, and I play Ivy Nightbreeze Tinkerfey, whose pronouns are she, her, and today's episode is brought to you by the letter E for Elara's episode.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ariana. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Elara Spindlespark, whose pronouns are also she, her, and I'm nervous, and I'm really excited for my episode. Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go!
Hello, everyone. My name is Wayra. My pronouns are she, they, and I play Varys, whose pronouns are he, they. And I am going to lead Elara's episode today, and I'm excited to see what kind of shenanigans we get up to.
None.
All of them. What do you mean?
It's gonna be the most boring episode ever.
Never.
Absolutely not. With
It's
Elara,
Elara. It could not be.
We want to give a quick shout out to Crystal in our Discord, who might recognize a certain NPC this episode. Maybe.
Ooh.
We'll see.
And if you want the chance to name an NPC or create an item, you can do so by joining the Green Fiends tier on our Patreon, or by winning RDC Bingo in our Discord when we do live listens of episodes, which are a lot of fun, by the way.
Yeah, you should definitely join our Discord because there are a lot of cool people hanging out there, and we do fun stuff. And we do Tales of Three things, so come join us. Hey.
Definitely not a cult.
It's not a cult.
But it
Or
could
is it? Dun dun dun.
If we believe hard enough, it could
If we
become a
believe hard enough.
No.
No.
cult. No.
A note regarding content warnings. This campaign is a dark fantasy that deals consistently with topics of body horror, complicated relationship dynamics, emotional distress, fantasy violence, gore, mechanized spiders, mental health and illness, profanity, and romantic and sexual relationships. A full list of episode-specific content warnings can always be found in the show notes of each episode. Last time, our story opened on a city not in Elisora, but in the Feywild. We followed a butterfly as it flew through Fellismore, right up to the window of the castle where Queen Titania was holding council. What was usually a routine, if not mundane affair, was interrupted by a portal ripping open in the room, and Titania had to seemingly pull Ivy away from some other force, while simultaneously scattering the other energy she felt coming through. This resulted in one bone wolf landing in the chamber. After dismissing her counsel, Titania tried to coax Ivy out of her wolf form, even giving her the ability to communicate. Once Titania learned that Ivy was looking for her friends, she convinced the wolf to let Ivy out so that they could begin their search. As the wolf dropped form, we were transported to the woods where Ivy stays when the wolf takes over. A normally quiet forest was disturbed by flames and a guttural, angry wailing sound. Ivy followed the sound to find a break in the thicket and saw a woman shooting fire at a thick wall of ice that seemed to be holding a person beneath many icy layers. When Ivy tried to leave to go back to the safety of her bed, the woman turned, but before Ivy could see her face, she disappeared into a pile of dying, burning leaves that surrounded Ivy. And Ivy learned that harming a leaf seemed to harm the spot on her hand where she centers her magic. Back in the council chamber, Ivy awoke confused and friendless in front of her aunt Tanya. Ivy's father Basil burst into the room with her mother Vassell trailing behind. Titania sent Vassell to fetch guards to look for Bia, Elara, and Varys, but Titania warned if any of them landed outside of the Seelie, she would not go look for them. Ivy was dismissed to her home to rest, and as she walked through the castle telling her parents of her trials in Elisora, we learned that Basil lived in Elisora before the Forsaking. And as they pondered time, scars, and missing gods, Ivy heard a familiar voice echoing down the halls, calling her name. But we pick up now, dear listener, not with Elara and Ivy's happy reunion, but with Elara falling from the sky.
It's a beautiful day. The sun beams down from a sky so blue it's uncanny, and there's not a cloud in sight. The air is warm, but the occasional breeze makes it comfortable enough for people to be out and about. And the city below is bustling. It feels alive in more ways than one, as the thrum of magic in the air gives a pleasant buzz beneath the skin of anyone it deems worthy to feel it. The Gothic white marble architecture seems to almost softly glow from the influence of the direct sunlight as people walk from their homes, shops, and inns, all made of the same white stone, some with gold trims and filigree, others with extensive latticework windows. However, no building is as beautiful nor as grand as the castle set in the middle of this massive city. The castle is a masterwork, making all other buildings look like the practice piece leading up to its creation. It's as though it was carved straight from a massive mountain of white marble by the hands of sculptors instead of masons. Its spires stand in tiers with pointed rooftops, and the tallest among them appear to be made of pure gold. The walls and rooftops contain lush, almost wisteria-like trees, with petals in various hues of bright and soft colors. Green vines wind their way around pillars or spiral up walls, only to hang down over the occasional archway like a curtain. This castle looks as though a garden is growing around it, as if it exists in harmony with nature itself instead of nature trying to overtake it. It feels almost ethereal, this warm and beautiful place. Fluttering around this grand castle are butterflies whose wings look like they are made of glass and are kind of almost opalescent in hue, with little gold marks on their wings that look like eyes. A gentle breeze sends petals scattering to the wind. 4 of those beautiful butterflies are swept up along with it. They soar high in the sky, causing light to scatter through their wings like crystal as they are sent off in 4 different directions. From the castle to the higher class ring, through the middle class ring, until they each reach a gate along the outer wall and settle on top, just taking perch. This city has 4 entrances, a gate in each cardinal direction through which people can approach this spot of paradise. And if we didn't know better, it seems like these butterflies are watching for something, waiting. And not too far away, in the middle of a peaceful, lush green forest, the sky begins to rip open like a lightning crack in the sky. Then the split widens to reveal a tunnel, or rather a slowly stretching funnel, as though a tornado was about to touch down in the sky itself. The energies of the world swirled around in the storm as it began to connect to something. On the other side of a similar tear is a much duller blue sky and a cliff face. A portal was forming, connecting this realm to another. Tumbling through said portal, about 10 feet above the tree line, is a familiar, half-elven woman with a head of curly red hair and a green jacket she doesn't go anywhere without. Elara, the last thing you knew, you were rapidly falling from a cliff, clinging onto Varys as you both tried desperately to reach out for Ivy, listening closely for Varys' signal to cast. You fall through an opening in the sky, the cliff getting further and further away as you fall with your back facing the unknown, into a tunnel of whirling energy of various colors, as though you are in the center of a storm. The wind batters you. Energy sparks and cracks through the path as you, Varys, and Bia go hurtling through it. You look around, trying to make sense of whatever the hell this is, and you can faintly see stars, like an endless sea just beyond the torrent of energy. And for a moment, your eyes seem to lock with the star who expands beyond, and I need you to make a wisdom save for me.
Oh boy. At advantage?
Yes, I will say.
Yes?
This time you do get advantage.
Good, because that was a 7.
Good. Hopefully it's better.
It's a 10.
That's not bad, actually.
Okay.
Elara, most people would be panicking in your current situation. You know that. This is terrifying and absolutely wild. It doesn't make any sense. All of this is happening so fast, and you know it is. Or rather, it should be. But for you, it's as if time has slowed for a moment as you fall. And instead of fear, you get the sense of calm familiarity, like a coming home, like belonging. Not for the torrent of energy, but to the stars beyond. And then, in a flash, time begins to flow as normal. The image of the cliff gets further and further away until it's gone altogether. And suddenly, that torrent of energy flares and collapses. It collapses in on itself, you, Varys, and Bia, converging into 3 forms of energy, a bright but warm light like the sun, a sickly green-gray like smoke, and a vast, empty blackness. They swirl around both you and Varys and Bia, and you feel his hold on you tighten, but Bia slips through his grasp and is taken in a lightning crack of energy. As you fall, Elara, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Fuck. 8.
8?
I'm back, baby.
Elara, you collide with a wall of that warm sunlight energy, and you're going to take 16 points of bludgeoning damage.
16.
16.
Okay.
As the air is ripped from your lungs from the force of it, you become disoriented. Your only anchor is the hold you and Varys have on one another, but suddenly that's ripped away too, as you sink through the surface of golden light only to continue to free fall once you're through. The last you see of them is the look of worry and desperation as they try to break through the wall, to reach you, to go to you. They shout something, but it's muffled, lost to the light, and a shadow of black and sickly gray-green moves over them, engulfing their form, and they are gone. You are alone. A tear rips open in the light below you, and as you approach, you begin to see a bright, lush green forest that spreads out in expanse below you. You don't know how far away the ground is, but there's barely any time as you fall right through. Elara, you are free falling through open air, out of this tear in the sky. The treetops getting closer and closer and closer, and as you kind of get the sense of when impact is going to happen, you realize you have but seconds.
Featherfall.
Perfect.
You watch as this swarm of silver nanobots just literally like encase her body, and she floats to the ground like a feather.
Wonderful. So you're not aiming for the top of the tree, you're aiming for the ground right away.
Well, I guess whatever she hits would end it, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so if she hits a tree, then it would end on a tree.
Elara, make a dexterity saving throw for me.
10.
You descend slowly as you intended, gliding down towards the approaching ground, and about 5 feet from said ground, you connect with a branch, and the spell ends. Do you want to fall the rest of the way or try to grab onto that branch?
How high up am I?
You're about 5 feet. It's not too bad.
Yeah, then I'll just jump down.
Perfect. You jump down into the grass, Elara, and there's like a ripple effect, almost like breaching the surface of water, as this like the grass and the ripple effect, it washes out, kind of like going from that green color grass typically is, going through pinks and purples and blue, and then back to green.
I will pick my foot up and like put it down again and see if it does it again.
It does it again, rippling out from point of impact.
Okay. She looks around.
Make a perception check.
She's looking for Varys, Ivy, and Bia. With a 12.
Lara, you glance around and you are alone.
Okay.
You see trees as far as the eye can see. On said trees are like different colored, brightly colored mushrooms, just kind of popping out. A couple of trees have this like almost tinsel-esque, I guess, vinery dropping from it, just gently swaying in a breeze.
Can I make so I guess what I would like to know is if this place looks familiar to her in any way.
Make a history check.
Natural 20 for a 27.
Look at you, shit.
Yeah, it only took 5 rolls to roll above.
You were due some good luck.
Yeah.
Elara, as you stand there getting your bearings, trying to figure out if your friends are nearby, in your surroundings, you realize that you have no idea where you are.
Fantastic.
You don't know of any forest in the whole of Elisora that has rippling, color-changing grass. However, in your youth, you did read a book about the Feywild, who mentioned that occasionally in some areas, you'll find stretches of forest or field whose grass reacts similar.
Okay.
Probably in one of your mother's collections.
So I think that she takes a couple of deep breaths. I think she reaches for her worry stone in her pocket. Or her pocket's working? She reaches into her pocket and she takes out Norman. Or tries to.
Okay, you reach into your pocket, Elara, and it does work.
Okay, so she takes out Norman. No, she goes into her pocket, I think, for her worry stone.
Mm-hmm.
Which she doesn't have because Varys never gave it back to her.
Right.
So I think that it's kind of her comfort thing. So she takes out Pearl as Norman like scuttles into the hood of her jacket. I think she pets Pearl for like a couple of seconds and I think tries to just compose herself from what just happened because she knows she went through a portal, right?
Make an intelligence check.
Lucky 13. 17.
17, okay. Yes, I would say that putting the pieces together, Elara, you do know that you went through the portal.
So I definitely think her mind is reeling. And I think I'll make like a wisdom save to see if she can get a handle on herself.
Yeah, please.
At advantage because she has Pearl.
Yes.
Natural 20 and a lucky 13. So double whammy.
I wonder if we should make a homebrew rule where lucky 13 is very, like a clearance.
Just for me. No, because I get them a lot, actually.
You do, yeah.
Takes a minute and like centers herself. And she looks around again. I think she was like on her knees petting Pearl and like watching the grass change color.
Mm-hmm.
She stands up and kind of like nods her head. And she looks down at Pearl. Okay, we're alone. Which is totally fine. This is gonna be really fine. We just have to find Varys and Ivy and Bia, and then figure it out from there. So I can do that. And she like nods to herself. I can do that. She's gonna take 2 of the vials off her chest, the vermilion red and the navy blue. One is for Varys and one's for Ivy. And she's gonna uncork them both because if either one of them is within, let me just check I don't remember the distance. I think it's 60 feet, which I feel like she would say, but like maybe they're up in a tree or something.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
They fell from quite a height.
60 feet. So if they are within 60 feet of her, the nanobots will swarm to them. So she uncorks them.
They do not leave the vial.
Okay, I'm gonna put them back on my jacket and keep them uncorked.
Okay.
Do I see anything that would give me an indication of like civilization?
Make a survival check.
I'm good at those. I'm just kidding. I'm not good at those. 10.
Elara, you think, judging by the way the moss is growing on these trees, that you should be walking southeast.
I'm going to take my cloak of billowing out and I'm going to put it on, put the hood up, and me and Pearl are going to walk southeast.
Okay.
Quietly.
Quietly, okay. How quiet are we thinking? Are we making stealth rolls or?
Yeah, I think if she feels like anyone's around, she probably doesn't want to just run up on them. She just wants to like observe the situation before she tries to talk to someone.
There are a lot of strange, like, you know how forests generally have like the background noise of birds and frogs and such. There are sounds like that, but they are unsettling.
Great.
They're not the same, and it's very obvious.
I think she's doing the gesture as if she was like rubbing her worry stone in between her fingers, but there's nothing there. And I think that Norman will probably come out and like sit on her shoulder and just keep like an extra, like a 360 view of what's going on.
A little robot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you're going to walk on, I think, for what feels like an hour, maybe 2.
Okay.
I need you to roll me another survival check to make sure that you stay going the same direction.
Well, it's a 7, so.
Okay. So you walk on for what feels like several hours.
Great.
And then, but you feel like you're making no progress.
Does like everything look the same? Like, you know, when you're like lost and you're going in a circle?
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you say that because in this moment, as you stop to make sure that you are going the same direction, you realize that you are back at the same tree that you left a second ago.
Fantastic.
You know that only because the grass is dipped in as if someone had sat here.
Great. And it feels like I've been walking for hours?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take out a rock and I'm going to take out my tinkerer's tools and I am going to complete a quick rune on it. And with it, I'm going to create, with my magical tinkering, a static visual effect. And it says, "You were here." And I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to start walking southeast again.
Okay. Well, you carry back on, now having put something down to remind yourself if you've been here or not. And this time you only walk for about an hour, it seems, before you start to hear what sounds like giggling.
Giggling?
Like children's laughter, but higher pitch.
Okay. Can I look in the direction that it's coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. Make a perception check.
11?
You look in the direction, which is about behind you on your right, and you don't see anything. And then you hear the giggling again, this time in your front left.
Like directly in front of me? Or like it moved, but it's still
Like
far
it
away?
moved. It's still far, but...
I'm going to program Norman to follow the sound and like stealth closer.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
Oh, with 18, so 21.
Good, nice. Okay. Yeah, so Norman kind of like skittles down from you and starts heading through the grass. This very faint little ripples through the blades of grass can be seen, but only because you know where he went.
Okay.
Can Elara see through Norman?
No, he has. Well, so the way that I play it is that he reports like information back, and she can like read them through our goggles.
Perfect.
So she can't see what he sees, but he can like convey what he's seeing.
What it is that he sees. Tell me then, has Elara ever programmed Fey creatures or monsters into her database?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
So Elara,
Yeah.
Norman projects to you that there is tiny people floating in the air about 40 feet away from you.
Does she know what tiny people floating in the air are? Like, she's read books about the Fae, right?
She has read books about the Fae. Make a history check with advantage.
Come on, baby. Well, one was a natural 1, but the other one was a 15 plus 7 for a 22.
Perfect. You know there's a couple different small creatures or people, entities, that can fly in the Fae. Most commonly are like fairies and pixies and things like that.
Now, I know that Elisora has a fucked up view of the Feywild.
Yes.
So, does Elara think that fairies and pixies are nice, or does she think that they are evil or like tricksters? What she knows about Ivy at this point, and how like Varys is a changeling, and changelings are supposedly monsters are painted to be monsters, and like that's obviously not true. So like, based on what she's read and based on her current knowledge, would she think it was safe to go be like, "Hey guys, can you help me?"
Well, it's difficult to say because the information that she would have gotten in Elisora on pixies and fairies. Fairies are mischievous, but more like people in the way that they make choices. Pixies, however, are a little more nefarious, known for playing pranks and luring people to their death.
Great.
On occasion. Exactly how exaggerated that is, you aren't quite sure.
Yeah. And she doesn't see any other sign of life at this point, like life that would be able to communicate with her.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
She does see like strange creatures climbing on the trees, but they haven't bothered her, so they seem docile. They almost look like squirrels, except for they don't have heads. It's more like an inverted little socket.
Jesus.
And they're like pale and not fluffy, but like scaled.
So like the direct like opposite of a squirrel?
Right. So
They're the size of a squirrel and they have the same tail.
So not squirrels.
So a lizard and a squirrel fucked and created an unholy abomination.
Or just like the size of a squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is chittering as though it were a squirrel.
I hate that, actually.
Elara looks at it kind of like, okay. Takes a big deep breath, puts her big girl pants on, confidently with her billowing cloak, walks over to the noises that she's hearing.
I am obsessed. Okay, so you walk over. Make a perception check.
That's an 8.
You walk over towards the sound and where you know Norman is. You find Norman
And he scuttles back up
Okay.
as soon as I get there. Keep that baby safe.
But you do not see these little floating people that he seems to think is there. You hear more giggling, though. What is your passive perception?
It's not worth asking me that. It's a 10.
10? Okay. What is on your person right now, Elara?
My jacket, my cloak, Norman, Pearl. Her watch is back on her wrist. Oh, is her watch? What's going on with her watch? Is it like ticking? Is it stopped again? Is it broken?
You look down at your watch and it just stopped.
So that's normal. That's normal behavior. Yeah, on her. So you know how she has those leather straps on her legs?
Yep.
I feel like she's got stuff hanging from them, like potion bottles, maybe like a gem that's like handy, maybe like her tinkerer's tools could be like hanging almost like a keychain, you know?
Okay. Do you wish to keep looking for them?
I think she like kind of whispers like, hello, I'm a friend, friendly.
You hear giggling and what sounds like a language, very high pitch, but you don't understand what it's saying.
Okay.
But it sounds like there are several different voices around you.
Okay.
And the tone is, well, make an insight check.
7.
You think it's friendly.
Great. She looks down at Pearl. Well, I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't speak the same language.
Pearl's hackles are raised.
Okay. I'm gonna back away when I see that and keep backing away.
When you back away, the giggling stops altogether, and you're left with the forest and its usual weird sounds.
I'm gonna go away from them in a direction.
Which direction? Do you want to pick or do you want to roll for it?
No, in like a scared direction. I'm just trying to get away from that spot.
Roll a d4 for me.
4.
Okay, so you turn around and you start running in a direction, or walking, moving quickly in a direction. And you continue on for a while without any other giggling.
Okay.
And then you hear a weird sound, like something softly dropping into the grass.
I look.
You see a small vial that you know once was strapped to your leg.
Is it empty or full?
It's empty.
I want to investigate it before I touch it.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
To see if there's anything weird on it. Natural 20 for a total of 30.
Oh, shit. Wow. So you
That is
don't...
my natural 20.
You don't see anything. You need these natural 20s, so it's good.
Okay.
You don't really see anything out of the ordinary on them. Like there's just a little bit of dust from disuse when you had it. There's something that looks a little bit like glitter, like 1 or 2 flecks, but other than that, there's not really anything.
Okay, I'm gonna pick it up and put it back on my thing.
Perfect. Nothing happens. You're fine.
Is Pearl still like alert and hackles up, or?
Yeah, Pearl is currently facing the direction to your right, up a little further into a tree, and is on guard.
Yeah. Okay, she takes a deep breath, like steadying herself. She does not like this. Elara is not having a good time. She does not like being alone. It's unfamiliar. She's freaked out and she doesn't know where her friends are. I'm assuming the nanobots haven't left her vials to go find.
They have not, no.
Okay. So she looks up in the direction of where Pearl is directed. Please just stop messing with me. I'm just trying to find my friends, and if you can help me, then that's great. But if not, can you just leave me alone? And she waits.
It's silent. And then behind you, there is a cacophony of giggles.
It's really not very nice. She like spins around.
You see, this time, very openly, a little cloud about maybe 7 little people with wings that move fast like hummingbirds, in various tones and complexions and colors. And none of their expressions look friendly.
Great, okay. Hello, hi. Sorry if I encroached on your space. I didn't mean to. Just kind of landed here, fell through a portal, so that's really fun and cool. If you could just direct me to the nearest town, I'll be out of your way.
They kind of look at each other, and one flies forward and holds a hand up and begins moving that hand. Make an insight check.
No, thank you. Oh my god, it's only a 6.
You don't know what's happening.
I run away.
You're gonna run away?
I'm running away.
Okay.
Does it look like magic, or I have no idea?
It reminds you a little bit of watching Ivy cast something.
I'm running away.
Running away? Okay.
Yeah.
Make it a dexterity saving throw.
18 plus
Nice.
2, I think.
Okay.
No, that doesn't sound right. Hold on. I don't know why I have a plus 2 to dexterity, but I do. So that's a dirty 20.
Elara, you turn and run away. Pearl is running with you away from these pixies. You feel like this strange rumbling beneath your feet, and you know to dodge out of the way.
Okay.
And behind you, where you just were as you keep going, there's vines that sprout out from the grass.
Yeah, running away.
What is your movement speed?
30 feet.
30 feet? You're dashing, are you?
I am dashing.
So a couple of them are keeping time with you. Still behind you. Not quite on you yet. I need you to make another dexterity saving throw.
Nope. That's a not 11.
11? Okay.
Can I cast Sanctuary on myself?
Sure. What does Sanctuary do again?
Is I ward a creature within range, which would be myself, against attack. Any creature who targets me with an attack or a harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell.
Okay.
So I think that as I'm running, I think probably when she sees the vine sprout, I think what happens is this just flash of golden sparkling energy, which is her nanobots. They literally just form a shield, shielding the back of her.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So wherever she turns, wherever the enemy is, it'll kind of go with her.
You cast that spell. First, roll d20 for me.
4.
4? Okay. So Elara, suddenly you feel these vines sprout at your feet and wrap around you and hold you in place.
She screams.
But you manage to get that spell off.
Okay.
It is the spell is holding you.
Okay.
But as the small kind of elven-like people with wings surround you, they keep looking like they're moving towards you to do something, and they shake their head, and frustration just starts spreading through the group. With every impact, that golden, sparkly kind of color seems to flare. And they, after a little bit, get frustrated, and they seem to leave. The vines dissipate, and you are alone.
So that only lasted for 1 minute. So I don't know how long
That only lasts a minute?
Yeah, I just looked at it.
Let me roll something.
Okay.
Most of them leave. They fly off. They're disinterested and frustrated, and they're kind of you hear high-pitched squabbling amongst themselves. One remains, though, but the vines do drop.
I think when the sanctuary ends, she looks at the one that's remaining. I don't want to hurt you or fight, but I will. So please don't make me.
It's quiet a moment. This little elven woman with wings kind of floats in the air before you. And then very quickly, she darts forward towards you and just stops about 10 feet away and just kind of tilts her head. And then she smiles, and the teeth are very sharp. She starts cycling through. She's saying something to you, and it sounds like they're all in different languages.
Oh, what languages do I speak? Hold on. I speak CSL, Common, Goblin, and Halfling.
None of those languages register with what she's saying. But finally, after a little bit, you hear words that you understand. You have gold. Sparkly.
Yeah, I do. I can give you some if you can tell me where the nearest town is. But the nearest good town, not a weird town that's gonna try to trick me into stuff, you know?
Make a persuasion check.
Hey, 16 plus 1, 17.
She seems to think about it, and then she nods. Just point to nearest town?
Well, it felt like I was walking before for a long time, but then I ended up right back in the same spot.
You are deep in woods.
Okay. Can you guide me there? Out of the woods?
I can't go out of woods. but I can go close.
And what is the closest town to here? Well, the closest town that is not gonna hurt me or kill me or trick me.
Well, tricky here. Follow. And she kind of like does this gesture to follow her, and she darts off out of view, realizes that you aren't moving as fast as her, comes back, and then flies a little bit in front of you. And she is now guiding you in some sort of direction.
Can I insight her real quick? With a 12, do I feel like I can follow her safely?
You do.
I will follow.
All right. For better or worse, you follow behind this pixie for a little bit. It's so strange because you think the time is definitely passing. It feels like your legs are sore. You feel like it's been a while. You're getting tired. Your injuries from earlier are starting to ache. But the sun has not moved. The shadows have not moved.
Interesting.
And suddenly, she stops flying in front of you and waits for you to catch up. She points to directly in front of you. Keep going forward. You will come to a path.
Okay.
Go left.
Left.
Follow path straight.
Okay.
And she looks at you and she holds out a hand. Sparkle.
How much gold do you want? I don't know how much you can actually carry. It's almost... How big is she in relation to a piece of gold?
She's like a size. She's like a little bit bigger than your hand.
Okay. How much do you want?
Sparkle.
I take out a gold and I give it to her?
She looks at it strangely and she hands it back. Sparkle.
Sparkle. What did I have that was gold? My nanobots? Oh, she goes, oh. She reaches into her pocket and she takes out a pouch of gold sand that she uses to like color her nanobots and stuff. And she takes it out and she kind of like opens it. I can give you maybe like a vial, the one that someone stole from me and dropped back with this in it. Would you like it?
Make a persuasion check.
5, 7. No, 6, because I have a +1.
Oh, rollies.
Oh, 16.
Nice. Okay. She seems to think about it, like unsure for a moment, and then enthusiastically does like grabby hands.
Okay, so I will take a vial, the one that they dropped, and I'll, dip it in and fill it up with some gold sand, and I'll cork it and hand it to her.
She seems excited. She takes it and she just hugs it to her.
Aw.
Okay, bye. And she rushes off.
Elara kind of just like waves as she's about to say bye,
Yeah.
And I will follow the path and go left when I have to go left.
You walk forward into the forest a little bit more. And it doesn't take long before you begin to see the forest thin out. And you do see the path ahead of you. And then you turn left once you reach it. And when you turn left, you, in the distance, you're not sure how far off, can faintly see the top of a wall.
Okay, amazing.
Like a massive white wall.
Oh boy, okay. She like kneels down and kind of gruffs, gives Pearl like a pet on the top of her head. Okay, made it out of the forest. She looks down at the vials. Still same, nothing?
Yes, no, they have not come out, but on your leg, you see another vial is missing.
Great, okay. Not worried about that right now. Okay, let's watch each other's backs. And she kind of looks at Norman and she looks at Pearl. It's just the three of us right now, so, you two are really gonna have to stand in for Varys and Ivy. Because this is really not easy without them. But we got this, and we're gonna find someone, and then someone is gonna help us find them, and then we're gonna get back together, and then we're gonna get back to Elisora, and everything is gonna be fine.
Can Norman and Pearl understand, like, process thought?
Pearl can pick up on her energy, like her emotions and her like feelings for sure. And Norman, she speaks to Norman through like her goggles. Like that's how she programs him.
Okay. Pearl nuzzles you, like your leg, and puts her head into your hand.
And she pets her again. And she kisses Norman on his little mechanical head and lets him scurry back up.
Aw.
And I will walk towards the wall, I guess.
Perfect. You continue walking down this path for a little bit. You're going up a hill. It's not super steep, but after walking through the woods all day and with your injuries, it's probably making you a little sore.
If Ivy and Varys were here, Elara would be complaining incessantly. But I think because she's alone and like her life is in danger, she is pushing through the pain. But she's definitely, even when you said before, like she was walking for 3 hours or whatever, she's having a hard time.
Yeah, I imagine. The closer you start to get to this wall, the more well taken care of the pathway seems to get. It goes from like a dirt road to a slightly cobbled one to a very well taken care of cobbled road. As you crest the hill, a tall white marble wall comes into view with like beautiful carvings and detail work along it. There's vibrant flowers and vines just kind of sprouting and spreading up the wall, kind of fanning out. It's very beautiful. Further down the cobblestone pathway, you begin to see a gateway with its massive doors wide open. It's a white marble Gothic structure with 2 large golden sconces adorning either side. You would guess that these are probably used to light the entrance at night. The top has the incredibly detailed statues of 4 beautiful Eladrin women in a flowing gown, adorned with vines and elegant flowers. A thin circlet adorns their heads, like a crown, in 4 different fashions. It takes you a moment to realize that these are not 4 different women, but the same woman depicted as different seasons. Walking along the top of the wall, 2 guards pass one another as they continue with their patrol.
Do they see me?
They do not. They start heading towards like these 2 like small watchtowers on either side. Further down, you see that this continues in a pattern until the point where your vision can't reach. It seems this wall stretches on quite a while. Before you is a small line of people in front of 2 guards. Each appear to be taking time to speak to every individual, and are looking over something before they are let in. They seem polite but firm, and behind them, standing on either side of the entrance, are 2 more guards. At attention, just keeping an eye on things.
I think that she feels a little bit of relief seeing like a population, a city.
Do you approach the line, or?
I do.
In this line of people, you see lineages that they've never seen before. There are some people who are the same height as you, but have like rabbit-like features and tall ears. Others who look a little bit like they have bull or cow descent with like fur all over them, and they're quite tall. They tower quite a bit.
Mm.
You see someone who I think you've seen also in Elisora. You see like a bugbear just kind of hanging out in the lineup as well. And an owl, but like a tall owl, like humanoid.
Okay.
Standing in line as well. They have regular arms and legs as like most humanoids do, but large wings seem to be folded on their back underneath their cloak. You can just kind of see the bottom of them peeking out.
I think she's a little bit like awe-struck. There's definitely a sense of wonder, but the nagging feeling of like being in this place and she's alone and she doesn't know where her friends are, and she also doesn't know if they're okay, I think it's kind of stopping her from being like fully like, oh my goodness, you know?
Yeah.
She's a little like task focused right now, and she needs to find her friends.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But I'll wait in line.
It doesn't take long for you to get to the front of the line. People in front seem to be processed and let in pretty quickly. You get to the front and there's 2 guards. One is speaking to someone currently, the owl person that you had saw, wearing like leathers and travel gear. They kind of make you think a bit of like rangers.
Mm.
The other guard though is available. You see a tall Eladrin woman with like gold skin and molten gold hair. Short, almost like an afro-like, tight coils, adorned with some really pretty like amber gems. They're wearing a nice plate, and on the right breast there's just like this wreath of wildflowers. But in the center of it is a butterfly in mid-flight with 2 eyes in gold. Around the wreath, there's like little facets where it looks like it might hold gems or some sort of decoration.
Mm-hmm.
In one of them, you see a gray gem, and she gestures for you to come forward.
I step forward. Norman is in the hood of my jacket. I think she would have put Pearl back in her pocket before they got like in view of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
and Norman would be safely tucked away as well, just because she's not sure. And if they're like, dogs aren't allowed in the city or something. She walks up and she goes, hi.
She kind of tilts her head looking at you strangely. She has very, very long, like elongated elven ears. And these amber eyes look at you up and down, kind of assessing you.
My cloak billows.
And she answers back, but not in a language that you understand.
Elara sighs. Is this Fellismore?
She hears a word that she does understand, and you see like a look of understanding come over her, and she nods and points to the city. She holds up a finger, like as if saying, hold on a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she reaches into her pouch, and she pulls out this kind of like, almost like dust. And she looks at you and holds her hand, and she gestures to you. She says something in Sylvan, but you don't speak it. And she holds it up to your face, and she blows it on you, just gently.
Elara like flinches away, I think, when she even like puts her hand out towards her.
That's fair. When the powder leaves her hand, she holds up both hands in like kind of like a defensive motion, like just like palms straight out. And she mutters something under her breath. And after a moment, you start to understand the conversation of the guard and the owl person next to you. They're talking about something to see the queen.
I think Elara smiles as the language starts to seep in, you know?
To the woman smiles at you and says, sorry about that. I know that's confusing and super uncomfortable, but I could tell you couldn't understand me, so.
It's okay. Thank you. I can understand you now, so that's good.
Good. That's Sylvan that we're speaking. A couple people here do speak common, but there's so many variations of common here, so it's better to just use that. In fact, and she reaches into her pouch, and she holds out a little, tiny little satchel, and she hands it to you. It says, you only need one little use a day, about a thumb size.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
You see her wave a hand. She says, of course, think nothing of it.
So this is Fellismore.
It is Fellismore, yeah.
In the Feywild.
Correct.
I came here with my friend, well, my friends, but you may know Ivy, Nightbreeze Tinkerfay. I'm looking for her.
She straightens up a little bit, and she looks at you, and she quirks an eyebrow and says, "You're friends with Ivy."
I know. I'm not as like fancy or anything like she is. But yes, we're friends, traveling companions, adventurers together.
Sure you are.
And I lost her.
What's your business in Fellismore?
Well, none. I have no business. I'm just looking for Ivy, and I just figured that when we got separated, she would probably come here because she lives here, right? Or maybe she's out in the woods looking for me. I'm not sure, but I was lost in the woods, and some fairies or pixies, or I'm actually not 100% sure what they were. They tried to steal my stuff, and then they tried to wrap me up in vines. And then I gave them some gold sand, which they were really liked, by the way. And then they were like, "Go this way." So here I am. I'm sorry. I'm very nervous. I've never been. This is a very weird place for me. And I lost my friends, and I just would really like to find them.
Yeah, of course. I think, honestly, it's probably better that you don't find Ivy, just between you and me. She doesn't exactly have... She does like this, she makes this kind of like face of like slight detest. She doesn't have like the best reputation, I suppose.
Okay, well,
But if you're looking for her...
Yes.
And you're looking for the castle and you want help maybe finding your friends, the queen is having an open court day.
Great.
Not today.
Okay.
But tomorrow.
Okay.
And over the next couple of days, maybe you could persuade her to, or send people to help you find your friend.
No, I need to find her now.
She kind of like cocks her head to the side and her eyes narrow a bit, as if she's listening to something that you can't hear. And then she looks at the other guards, rolls her eyes. Though I suppose Queen Titania would want to know that she's back and possibly missing.
Lauren looks a little confused. Like, why would the queen of this place want to know about Ivy? Right. Of course she would. Because the queen really cares about her subjects.
I think she smirks a bit. She does. But she would want to know of the Lady Nightbreeze Tinkerfay's whereabouts.
Lady?
Yeah, her parents are the council artificers to the queen. Ivy is fond of letting everyone know of her informal attitude towards the queen. Your friend didn't tell you much about herself, did she?
Lauren narrows her eyes. A lot of things are clicking into place right now. Like Ivy being a lady. Like a lot of things, but she's not going to deal with that right now. Okay, so I need to get to the queen. And like she thinks for a second. Wait, you know what Ivy looks like?
Of course, everyone does.
Okay, so have you seen her come through?
I have not, no.
Okay. What about a really tall, half orc, half elf person with long pink hair and like a fancy powell? Yeah, fancy, no climbing gear, like black, tight black with like pockets and cargo pants.
No, I can't say I've seen someone like that either.
Okay. A pseudo dragon? Purple?
Definitely not. No. That's probably Ivy's, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do I just go in?
Well, hold on a moment. She turns around and heads to the gate to talk to one of the people standing guard there. It's a little too far away to hear. Unless you want to try to overhear it.
I want to try to listen.
Make a perception check.
6.
6? No, you can't make out a word they're
Love it.
saying. Beside you, though, it looks like the conversation is clearing up and the owl person is heading towards the gate to go into the city. The guard comes back after a few moments to talk to you. She says, so you don't have any travel papers probably, right?
No.
Okay. A few things I need to tell you.
Okay.
Do not thank anyone here in the Feywild.
Okay.
It's not that we don't appreciate it, it's that it implies that you owe them something.
Oh.
And here, unfortunately, words can be very binding.
Okay.
It probably won't affect you so much when you're first here, but the longer you're here, the more it will have an effect on you.
Okay.
Or so we've noticed. We don't have anyone who can take you to the castle currently, and whereas you don't have any identification, it will make it getting in tricky. So you could wait with us here at the gate until one of our shifts are over and we can take you over, or you can try to get to the castle on your own.
Can I see the castle from the gate? Isn't it like up on high?
You definitely can see the top of the castle from here. Yeah.
She points to it. Is that...
She nods. It's like, that is the castle, yeah.
I appreciate your offer to let me stand here all day and wait, but I really am in a hurry. I think the sooner that I find them, the sooner we can make a plan and no offense, but get out of here. So I'm not the best at directions, but I feel like it will be pretty difficult for me to get lost. It's like a beacon, you know? So I will just go through and go to the castle.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you're going to be here without any ID, can I see your hand for a moment?
I mean, I have ID. Like I have, you know.
No travel documents though from the Fae.
No. Why do you want my hand?
She holds out hers to take yours, but she'll wait for you to put it in hers.
She very hesitantly gives her hand.
All right. And she just kind of takes her other hand and waves it across yours, and this little butterfly mark appears in your palm very quickly.
She like closes her hand into a fist. What's that?
It's to let them know that you didn't break in over the wall. In case you have to deal with the guards in town, they'll be able to check for it.
Okay, great. Does it go away after a while, or is it just like forever?
Oh, it will. It fades after 24 hours.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Nope. Gratitude.
She waves a hand, dismissing that.
Okay, I'm just gonna go now.
Yeah. Have a great day.
And I will walk through the gates.
All right. You walk through the gates, and you are met with possibly the most splendid city you've ever seen. It is gorgeous. Every building in this town the architecture is the same as this wall. It's made of some sort of white stone that's kind of like slightly glowing in the sun, and it's all kind of gothic architecture. It's gorgeous. The streets are well maintained, even this close to the wall, and everywhere people are just moving about, going about their business. It is a very busy town.
She is not paying attention to the architecture or any of that. She is looking for a tall, pink-haired person and a short, little, blue-haired person.
Make a perception check.
Because she figures that even though they haven't seen Varys, Varys may well have, lucky 13. That's an auto crit.
For Elara only.
She figures Varys may have actually climbed over the wall. And Ivy might be like having tea at her favorite pastry shop. I don't know,
When Elara is missing? Absolutely.
Well, she might be like, they'll know it. They'll find me.
Absolutely.
The image of Varys just scaling the wall.
It's something he would do for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
She's got him down to a science.
She's like, just because you didn't see him. And he's a changeling. So, like, honestly.
He could be anyone, unfortunately.
But she's looking for, like, something familiar.
So, you do see a couple people with pink hair.
Okay. None of them are baby boy?
There's one who fits his description from behind.
She runs up and, like, pulls on their sleeve.
They turn around and look at you. And it is a furbog. Just like this bright pink goatee. And like, they just look at you super confused.
You see Hope die. She has, like, when he first turned around, she was like this bright-eyed. And then she just sags. I'm sorry, I thought you were someone else.
That's all right. Do you need help?
Well, I'm looking for my friends. And I'm supposed to go to the castle. But I feel like I could find the castle because it's like right there. I mean, up in the distance, but like it's very visible. Do you know Ivy Nightbreeze Tinkerfay, by the way?
I mean, who doesn't?
Well, if you see her, tell her that Jennifer Roundbottom is looking for her.
Oh, you mistaken. I would not be caught dead talking to her, but
Why?
I don't associate with murderers. And he just kind of holds out his hands, as in like a shrug kind of thing.
Well, how do you know that she's murdered people, first of all? And second of all, she's only done it in self-defense.
He laughs. You do know Ivy personally?
Yes. We're traveling companions. We're adventurers together, and we help people. And the only time that we kill people, she like stops for a second, is when we're helping other people or we're in danger. I'm an adventurer too,
Ivy murders people in cold blood. People who trusted her. So I'd want yourself around her.
I feel like we're talking about two different things.
You'll find out, I suppose. Good luck finding her. And your friend. And, he turns and leaves.
I think she stands there for like a minute. Okay. She says okay 4 times and she starts walking again towards the castle. Keep still looking out for her friends.
Okay. Well, you start navigating your way through this town, and it is, despite the fact that you can see that castle,
God damn it.
it is a fucking maze in here.
Okay.
You think, intuitively, you should be able to just follow, the top of the tower and go down streets that look like it aligns with it. Some of those streets are dead ends and turnarounds, and it's so confusing to navigate.
I think after like a little bit of this, she's talking to like Norman and Pearl at this point, like that, because she's got no one else to talk to. She's like, okay, I don't have time for all these twists and turns and weird time phase stuff where the castle looks far close, but it never really gets any closer. I'm gonna look around and see if there's anybody who seems like they are not an asshole to ask for help.
Yeah, make a perception check.
11.
11? Okay. Make 2 separate insight checks.
Okay. 16, 12.
So it takes you a little bit, because most people they just look busy, like they're going somewhere with a purpose.
Yeah.
The closer you think you get to the castle, the fancier people seem to be and the less approachable people seem to get.
Great.
You turn down one of the streets and you see somebody who looks familiar to you, only in like a passing by sense.
Oh, don't do that to me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You see an owl person just kind of walking by themselves. They got a bow on their back and a sword at their hip.
The one from the gate?
Yeah, just kind of walking along, kind of whistling to himself.
She walks up. Excuse me? Hi. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. You seem like the most approachable person in this place. I'm a little lost, even though the castle is literally right there. I can't seem to get to it. And everybody here is not very nice. And I've lost my friends. And I'm just getting a little nervous because I don't actually know how long I've been separated from them. And so I would like to get to the castle so I could talk to the queen and maybe she can help me. But maybe you can help me first.
She looks at you and she's got like a beak as opposed to like a humanoid face. And these like black eyes, all black, just like an owl.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of tilts her head a couple times in curiosity while she listens to you. And then she starts hooting as if in laughter, like a pattern of laughter. And she looks at you. She says, I can absolutely help you. I'm actually going to the same place for, well, not a similar reason, I suppose, to see the queen. So, yeah, come with me, of course.
Thank you so much.
Don't thank me.
Don't thank
Do not thank people in the Fae. And she kind of waves her hand dismissively. You see that she's pretty much all feathered. And she has like these talons for nails at the tips of her fingers.
Have you been to the castle before? Do you live? Are you from Fellismore?
I'm not from Fellismore, no, but I have been to the castle before. Certainly have been here several times. I actually work in the guard.
Oh, like for them? For Fellismore?
No, not for Fellismore. I work for the Queen's Guard. There's different branches throughout the Seelie.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm from Oladell.
Oladell. Cool.
Where are you from?
I'm from Elisora. It is an entire different world. Or plane.
Oh, you're a plane hopper. Cool.
Well, yeah, I not on purpose, so that, was interesting. But it would have been fine if I didn't lose Ivy and Varys.
Are those your friends?
Yes, and Bea too.
Oh, she smiles. Ivy as in Ivy Nightbreeze Tinkerfay?
Mm-hmm.
She nods. Right.
She's looking for want to insight check her when she hears Ivy's
Insight check, please.
Third lucky 13.
13. Do you get the sense that there's trepidation? Like she's not really sure you're comfortable with the topic?
Elara's like, what the fuck is going on?
But she's not rude about it. She just says that interesting friends you keep.
Well, I didn't do it on purpose. Not that I don't think Ivy is great, because I do. I just mean we didn't become friends on purpose. It was all very accidental, but we are now, so that's great. And we're adventurers, and we go around and we help people, or we try to anyway. That's going to be what we're going to be doing once we get back together.
That sounds wonderful. You get to see the world, and helping people is a very noble cause.
Mm-hmm. So I need to find her. And Varys, really soon.
Well, if you all came through accidentally, there's a big chance here that you could have been separated to quite far distances. So hopefully they know to make their way here. I'm sure you'll find them again.
Me too. They're alive, so I know that.
That's good.
She looks down at her nanobots.
I think that there's a bit of silence for a few paces. And it's obviously awkward.
Elara has no idea, she's just walking.
And she's like, how do you know? Not to be a downer, but...
No, that's okay. I'm not just I am hopeful. But also, and she just points down and she taps the glass vials on her chest. My nanobots, are connected to their DNA. If they were not alive anymore, then my nanobots would go dormant. So I'm like 99.9.999% sure that that is true. So I
Right. Sorry. What are nanobots?
They are mechanized bugs that I shrunk down to be really, really tiny after I carved them with runes to make them do magical things.
Wow, that's really. You would get along with the artificers here very well, I think.
Well, I am a scientist, artificer.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah. What do you do? Like, what's your job? What's your job? What's your thing?
I'm a soldier, primarily, but I am a ranger in specialization.
That's pretty cool. Do you have an animal companion?
I do, but she's back at town, kind of protecting my son and the rest of the town.
Cool. I have she reaches under her cloak and Pearl jumps out of her pocket.
Wisdom save.
Oh my god, yeah.
What's the DC?
I always forget about that. I'm always like, look at my cool dog.
I was
and
like,
everyone's like
please
panicking.
whip Pearl out of your pockets. Let's go.
Look at my cool dog. Oh god, what the fuck is that thing? Oh god. 15.
Now she passes.
Pearl just hops out.
She's like, what a cute dog.
Thank you.
Very
She's a robot.
dog-like, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, super dog-ish.
Yes, that was the issue.
Is she real?
Nope, she's a robot. So is Norman, and then Norman comes out from her
Oh,
head.
God. She's like, you just have all kinds of companions.
I do. I'm missing my favorite too, though, honestly.
Oh,
And Bia.
I'm sure they miss you, too.
Yeah. I think Pearl and Norman miss Bia like I miss Ivy and Varys, you know?
She nods.
Norman shakes his little head, like nods up and down.
I'm sure they miss you
Yeah.
all just as much as you miss them.
I don't have a vial for Bia, which makes me kind of nervous. But she's a pseudo dragon, so like I'm sure she's fine, you know?
I'm sure she is, too. They're very resourceful creatures.
Mm-hmm. They walk on, I guess.
You guys keep walking, getting closer and closer to the castle. It is actually getting closer to you now.
Hey.
As you walk, the ranger kind of says, you know, I'm kind of glad that you decided to approach me. That sounds weird. I was going to follow you around the town to make sure you got to the castle okay. You didn't sound like you were the most confident. No offense. I just wanted to make sure you got there safely.
None taken. I was not the most confident, that is true. I'm glad that you didn't follow me though like a creepy person, no offense.
None taken. It would have been very creepy, I understand.
Yeah. And you're a ranger, so you're probably like so stealthy. But I'm glad that I met a nice person because, you know, like I said, the guard wasn't so bad, but when I mentioned Ivy, she got really a little bit weird. I almost wanted to like throw a ball bearing at her or something, but
Not that I blame you, because that's your friend, but unfortunately I think that's going to be the response you get here. Ivy is not looked on favorably here.
you know, she always said that, but I didn't really believe her. Because, well, I mean, I know her, you know, so I just was like, why would somebody not like you, you know? Why does everybody look unfavorably at her?
Well, I could tell you, but that's not really my story to tell.
She nods. Well, I'll just have to ask Ivy myself then.
I think that would be wise. What's your name, by the way? I didn't catch it.
Jennifer Roundbottom.
Nice to meet you, Jennifer.
You too. What is yours?
I'm Soara.
Soara. Nice to meet you.
You as well. If someone asks you for your name, like, can I have your name?
Mm-hmm.
Don't give it to them.
What if it's not my real name?
She laughs. That's also very smart.
She nods.
And at this point, you are walking up on the guards to the castle. And she looks at you and says, well, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Don't thank me. She raised her hand.
She literally makes that noise. She's so frustrated with herself. Sorry.
I appreciate the sentiment, though.
Yes. Good tidings to you.
And you. She kind of starts hooting a little bit as she walks off.
I take a deep breath and I approach the guards.
All right.
Thanks so much for listening. We're incredibly grateful for the love and support.
And P.S. if you want more content, check out our Patreon for free clips, bonus scenes, and if you join the Red Rogues, you'll get access to the Rainbow Dice Club chat and after show where we talk about past episodes.
If you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us.
Special thanks to our Green Fiend Patreon supporters, Jen Bear and Michael.
And with that, our story pause is here for today. Join us next time as we continue our adventures, and remember, it's never too late to start your own.
Bye! Oh god, is it time now?
What's Elara's feelings? Falling through the sky. Those are her feelings. Panic.
Free falling.
Yeah.
Free falling.
She's got her arms out and Varys is holding her like the Titanic movie, except it's in the air.
And Bia's clawing at her chest.
She's like, Bia, I'm trying to have a moment.
He's like, ah!
Laura and Varys are having a moment, and then Bea's like, the screams, the terrible screams.
She's like, bitch, my mother's dying. Get my mom.
Okay.
I'll be like, no, she would have wanted it this way. The last thing she sees, she's like, yes, I knew it.
I knew it.
I was right all along.
No, please. Please, no.
Just kidding. Elara and Varys do not get together.
Ever.
Dear listener. Spoiler.
Just a spoiler for
Stay
me.
face.
Fuck. Don't worry, in episode 87, they'll finally touch hands.
I'm obsessed with the fact that you guys have this like Victorian era romance going on.
It's the slow burn. It's a slow burn.
It's the Victorian slow burn. It's what the women who had to wear very long skirts all the time for fear of ankles being too carlity would eat up. They would eat this shit up.
Well, Elara has her ankles out all day. Oh, actually, she doesn't. She wears boots.
Unless she forgets to wear clothing as she goes down to find pearls.
No, her ankles were still covered. Her ankles were still covered, though.
But the rest of her legs
shoes
were not.
She's breaking.
Still modest. It's those damn ankles.
Yeah, she's finding ways to, to break the rule. I don't fucking know. Let's do this. I haven't rolled a die in so long.
Well, I'm excited for you because there's a few right at the gate. Okay, I think I'm ready.
I believe in you.
Thanks.
I'm so excited. I'm so nervous.
Dusty, if I say anything that you don't like, just stop me and I'll change it, okay?
I don't think that's possible, but I got you.
I appreciate that. I took some creative liberties.
For Varys and Ivy, these cars, you guys.
That one I heard.
Holy shit. Because doing this...
I keep getting the air show, so I don't know.
You're like,
my audio's not going to be great.
I'm in the air show world right now.
I'm in the trenches.
Fuck. So was Elara. This fucking guy. I appreciate you joining us, Dusty, but I didn't hear what you said. I saw this fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
I saw your face doing it.
This fucking guy.
I listened to like a supercut of Nandor the other day saying fucking guy.
I love
you said this to me.
I did good.
I love Nandor.
This fucking guy. It's my favorite.
Love that man.
Fucking guy. All
Funniest vampire ever. All right. Speaking of to the wall.
To the wall. Yes, I'm going to the wall.
Segue.
Take me to the wall.
To the wall.
Norman's gonna climb that wall. Elara's gonna fall down that wall.
She's got feather fall.
So,
all right.
I love it. Okay.
Let's get back into it.
Get the saddies in.